Man, we're talking about Jadeveon Clowney. The Tennessee Titans have picked him up out of Seattle, which let him go. They did not want to sign him again, so the Titans picked him up. And guess what? It's a great pick. In my opinion, I don't care what anybody says. I feel like it's a great pickup. And you want to know why I feel like Jadeveon Clowney is a great pickup? Because Mike Vrabel was with the Texans in his first 3 seasons, all right? From 2014 to 2016, Mike Vrabel was the linebackers coach for the Texans, and he knows the skill set of Jadeveon Clowney, which is why he wanted to put him in the lineup and put him on his team to make sure that he makes an impact. Let's go back to where he played for South Carolina. Let's look at how he comes and runs downfield for the Gamecocks and makes a big tackle against the Michigan Wolverines in the Outback Bowl. If you talk about Clowney, you're talking about a big player, nimble feet, big size, big hands, can get off the edge, can do everything that you need him to do for your football team. And you see it right there. And he picks up the recovery, fumble recovery, almost runs it in for a TD. If it's the NFL, more than likely he could probably run it in for a touchdown. And that's what we're talking about when you're talking about Jadeveon Clowney. You know, you're talking about the Tennessee Titans and what they can do this season, because not only do they have a great running back in Derrick Henry and a great wide receiver in Brown, but you're also talking about who else they have on their football team. You're talking about a tight end who is now the number 1 tight end in Jonnu Smith. Also, they have a great offensive tackle in Taylor Lewan, defensive tackle, second-year player Jeffrey Simmons, linebacker Harold Landry. You add the Jadeveon Clowney on that line. He can also play linebacker. You also got a cornerback in Adoree Jackson, safety Kevin Byard, who's an all-world safety, who I feel like doesn't get enough credit for what he can do on the football field. And that's real talk, man. Let's take a look at Jadeveon Clowney and what he can do for your football team. He stays in his lane, stays where he's supposed to be, and as long as he does that and plays up to his strengths, he can get you these plays on your football team. Right there, you see him for the Seattle Seahawks as he gets an interception. He's nimble enough, quick enough to get down the field, has great hands, great speed, is quick enough to get down the field, and he can do that for your football team. And that's real talk. That's Jadeveon Clowney. He's a great player, a great pickup for the Tennessee Titans. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but the New Orleans Saints actually wanted to do a sign and trade with, it could be any particular team, we don't know, but let's just speculate that it's the Cleveland Browns. Let's just say the Browns were the ones that wanted to pick him up, and then the Saints actually wanted to do a sign and trade. Now, from what I've heard, they actually just wanted to pay him $10 million, which is why the Tennessee Titans were able to pick Jadeveon Clowney up. Now, sources say that Clowney actually got rid of his agent because he wasn't doing his job. So that's the take on all of the information that I know, in particular on the contract negotiations, despite the fact that he got $15 million. Now, if we're talking about $15 million, from what I've heard, is $12 million and then $3 million in incentives. Now, let's talk about actually Pro Football Focus. They have Clowney rated as the number 2 best run defender. That was in 2018. So you already know you're going to get a great player. Now, I know Clowney gets injured a lot. I know that. He gets injured. I get it, and I understand that. But I think that Jadeveon Clowney is a great pickup for the Tennessee Titans. Now, let's go ahead and look at the schedule for the Tennessee Titans, what we got coming up for this season, all right? So you got a lot of tough games before your bye week, all right? You got 6 games there. Toughest games. Steelers are always tough. The Bills, you know they're tough. You know the Texans with Deshaun Watson is going to come with it. And if you ask me, I'm not going to give you a prediction on this schedule because I'm just not going to. I'll give you my prediction at the end after I just look at this and talk about it with you. Now, the trickiest part of this schedule right here is you got the Colts in November, 11-12 through 11-19, and then you got the Ravens sandwich right in between there. You see that right there? So you already know Lamar Jackson's going to want to come with some venom because of what the Titans did to them last season in the NFL playoffs. Because you already know Derrick Henry put up a lot of numbers against the Baltimore Ravens, and nobody was expecting for the Titans to really cut up like they did last season, especially the Patriots. They did not want what the Titans had to offer and was actually surprised that the Titans defense stepped up and did what they did. Tom Brady threw an interception, which ended that game, first game in the playoff series for the Tennessee Titans. And as you look at the bottom part of the schedule, you see the Packers, and then you see the Texans at the very bottom, Deshaun Watson again. And the Packers actually won the playoffs last season. So this is going to be a hard schedule for the Tennessee Titans, and I actually got them going 10-6 this season because they got some hard games. And as long as that defense can live up to the standard of Vrabel, because Vrabel is, don't get me wrong, Vrabel is a defensive-minded coach. And as long as he can live up to his coach set of being a defensive-minded coach and also letting his coaches coach the offense and not stepping in line with what they know that they can do for that offense, then I see the Titans going 10-6 next season. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me on Sports Talk. I'm your host, William Allen. Check me out on the next show. I'll be back. Peace.